Welcome broskies to another 2v2 online battle. This one I'm playing as Bretonnia, a faction I don't believe I've ever played as in any of my online videos, so I thought I should do that. This is a ranked match on Marbad's Tomb. We're against two vampire armies and I have the Wood Elves at my side. So, usual order of business, what did I bring to this here conflict? Well, I didn't bring a lot of infantry, for one thing. I've got 4 units of men-at-arms. These are the spearmen, the unshielded ones. They're slightly more expensive, but they have slightly better stats, of course. So they're going to need it against the vampires. I've also got 4 units of peasant bowmen, hoping that these will do a lot of damage on their approach, provided I can keep them safe, of course. And I also have a paladin to help protect my general and to buff the leadership of the spearmen nearby, because Bretonnian infantry don't have the best morale in the world. And then I've got the almighty King Leoncoeur on his faithful steed, of course, and his powerful goatee is going to win the day for us, hopefully. So that's pretty much my entire army. That's a complete lie. I have lots of cavalry. That's the whole point of my army. So the thing about me not having a lot of infantry is I do have a lot of cavalry. I've got this unit of Knights of the Realm, just because I had kind of the money left. I would have gone for Grail Knights, but I couldn't afford them. Because I do have one hidden unit of Grail Knights over here. They're hidden for a very important purpose. I've got another one over here, which is supposed to be hidden, but seemingly isn't. And another one over here. So I've got lots of Grail Knights hidden in the trees, 4 units of cavalry altogether. And that actually is my entire army. Now let me tell you about my plan here. So, I've edged myself up to this hill so they can't get past it. And I've left a gap on this side on purpose so that they can hopefully come through. And I'm going to use these Knights of the Realm as pretty much just a suicide unit. I'm going to send them up to charge them in. And then my skirmishers hopefully will have more time to do a ton of damage. And then when they do come through this gap on here, they're going to come through here and they're going to think, yeah, I've got free run at these skirmishers. But oh no, these hidden Grail Knights are going to reveal themselves and do some hammering in the backseas. And that's pretty much my plan. These other Grail Knights could do the same thing. It depends how the enemy attacks me and will adjust accordingly. So that's my plan. Whether it works or not is down to what the enemy does, but we shall see. So my enemy's got his 2 Great Eagles and his Hawk Riders. He's heading them off. Looks like he's heading towards that Terrorgeist over there. They do have terrible leadership, but it is anti-large, so it might do okay against 2 Eagles. Not sure. And what has this Elven fellow brought against the vampires? He's got 2 units of Treekin. They're going to be pretty good against them. They should hold really well. He's got Durthu. They're going to struggle to stop Durthu. Got a Branch Wraith. Got some Eternal Guard. What else we got hidden in these trees? Got some Dryads here. Got some Glade Guard. Another unit of Glade Guard. Can't really see. He's got so scattered in the forest. What have we got? Glade Guard, Dryads. So yeah, pretty much everything we just saw. And some Wild Riders out there on the flank. So yeah, pretty balanced army. Now for the vampires, they've got all sorts of stuff. They've got a lot of zombies, a hell of a lot of zombies. 1 unit, 2 unit. There's some Tith there. A ton more zombies over here. I have no idea whose army is whose because they're all kind of mashed together. But lots of zombies basically. And in amongst that, they got some Vargeist on the flanks with some Crypt Horrors. That could be pretty dangerous. Got some Sternsmen, Graveguard. So lots of Graveguard, lots of non-armor piercing Graveguard is important because they don't really need the armor piercing against Bretonnia or the Elves. So a good call to bring non-armor piercing ones. More of them. Some upgraded. More Sternsmen. Got Heinrich Kemmler. That's a rare choice for a general. And a Black Coach, that's also a rare choice. And a Terrorgeist, that's also a terrible choice. But there you go, there's the Vampire Army. Oh, and of course some Blood Knights over on the flank. Who knows whose is who, but that's most of their army. Lots of Graveguard, lots of zombies, and a few monsters scattered in and amongst it. Basically their army. The Elven player's going after the Terrorgeist, firing a few arrows with the old Hawk Riders. Not really going to do a lot, probably a waste of time, but a good annoyance if nothing else. It's like he's poising with those Great Eagles, Giant Eagles, whatever the hell they're called. Ooh, he's narrowly missed a spell there. Nearly caught one. Terrorgeist's after the Hawk Riders. The Hawk Riders will probably get destroyed by the Terrorgeist. They might need the Eagles' help. I've adjusted my army here, because my little plan is kind of being a little bit thwarted, because Vargeists and Crypt Horrors don't really want my Grail Knights fighting them, so I'm going to pull them back. I'm going to leave this one hidden though and try and move them back in a minute. But I'm going to kind of adjust the angle, so that I'm not so susceptible to be flanked by those Vargeists and Crypt Horrors. Because I don't have any protection from my ally on the right. He's all got the left covered, so I'm going to have to move around a bit. He's still having a dance with this Terrorgeist. And the main bulk of the vampire infantry seems to be moving up. So it's all about to go down. There's going to be a showdown and we're going to throw down. And there might even be a hoedown. I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. Moving these boys back to try and get them away so they're less likely to be discovered, but a little more hope than judgment, I think. So I await their arrival. I am quite close to the edge of the map, I did realise, which I don't want to be. I'm definitely not trying to corner camp, because that's just for losers. So I did leave them a gap, so they can flank if they need to. I didn't want to use the map to avoid the flanking. My Knights of the Realm are going to move up though. And of course my original plan was to suicide them, but I kind of decided to keep them alive instead, because there's a lot of Graveguard. And I don't think letting these guys die early. They could do a lot more damage if I can hammer and anvil them later. My skirmishers are popping up pretty well. It's all zombies at the front anyway, so I can't really do a great deal of damage to anyone of great significance. Only zombies. I'm going to charge the Tith though, as they're the slightly more dangerous zombie version, but not by much. Get down, zombies. There's a black coach coming in. Hammering away at them with missiles. My ally has cast Flock of Doom on the enemy. Thanks, ally. Good call. No, so the Realm got about 4 kills, so you know, totally worth it. Sternsman coming up as well now though. Graveguard. Durthu's off. He's going to start smashing some freaking heads in. The Elven player is moving in, as are all the horde of vampires. There was a lot of vampire units coming. They've got a lot of numbers. Some Terrorgeist is coming in after my skirmishers now. I'm going to focus fire on them. They're the Devils of Schwarzhofen actually. Pretty dangerous. My Knights of the Realm nearly going to get caught by some Crypt Horrors. Going to get them out of the way just in time. Moving my Grey Knights off to the right there to try and flank them round, get ready for the hammer and anvil. And that's what I forgot to say actually about my plan, was it was mainly to hammer and anvil. That's why I brought so much cavalry. I was hoping my spearmen would hold long enough so I can get my Grey Knights around the back, and they've got a humongous charge bonus. They'll destroy everything. Not really sure what that charge was about. It was kind of just like on the very edge of one unit. I think I was expecting them to take more of an angle. Crypt Horrors are causing me some problems. I really should have had some extra anti-large to deal with anything like that. Some Vargheists came after my Grey Knights in the trees that were supposed to be hidden. I pulled them away from them because I don't want them to fight Vargheists and waste their time. They need to be hammer and anviling stuff, so that's what I'm getting them to do. Another unit moving around there to get in the hammer and anvil position. This unit was supposed to do the same thing, but they were meant to come around, kind of around here, but they just kind of ran into them, so brilliant. So I had to move them around in a minute. Elven player is getting stuck in to some Blood Knights. Branch Wraith struggling, but those spears should take care of the Blood Knights, as should Durthu. Some Graveguard. There's only Tith on him. Heinrich Kemlar just died. Not sure how, but he is a little bitch, so he probably went down pretty easy. He should have sent the Great Eagles after them. They would have taken him down so quickly. So it looks like most of the vampire army, or armies, is engaged in my spearmen now. They're holding pretty well, so I'm moving my Grey Knights into position, hammering and anviling the crap out of them, cycle charging everybody. Graveguard should take a nice bit of punishment. Charge them in, going to pull them away straight away. These units starting to move these round. This unit of men-at-arms were doing nothing, so I got them round for a flanking preparation, and my Grey Knights are going to move round for utter hammer and anvil destruction. Lining these boys up again, Knights of the Realm. There are some Schwarzhofen. Nope, these are just regular Vargheists coming in. They just missed a charge there on my Grey Knights, on my Knights of the Realm actually. Going to start shooting at them with missiles. This unit on the right of Grey Knights, I kind of left them there to keep the Crypt Horrors in place because I didn't want them to get round and start smashing up my skirmishers. So I had to keep them there. Flanked round on this side. This is going to do a lot for the morale. We are starting to break along the front though. Of course vampires do have a lot of terror and fear abilities, so it's kind of difficult to stay in the fight for a long time against them because of all those leadership penalties. More charges though. Knights of the Realm coming in. So we're looking alright. We're still holding pretty strong. My skirmishers haven't been bothered too much yet. The Elven player's moving in from my left flank. He could probably hurry up and try and help me a little bit more than dealing with those 3 units. He should be able to get rid of them fairly comfortably without the rest of his army. He is starting to move towards me now, because I think the entirety of their 2 infantries, all the vampire infantry, has pretty much come to me. And 4 units of spearmen have somehow held this long against all these Graveguard and stuff. He spawned some zombies in. This is becoming a little bit of a problem in online, is the ridiculous amount of zombies that you can spawn. Vampires seem to have become the kind of popular faction to play as online, so everyone's playing as them. And everyone usually just brings shit tons of zombies and spawns loads of zombies behind your line. Because they can't flank and they're not very good at the game, so they don't know how to flank. So they just spawn zombies behind you. It's kind of like a shortcut, it feels like. And they can spawn, I think it's like 7 units. Was it? I did it in one of my previous online battles. That was before I realised how freaking annoying it was. But yeah, I think it's a bit silly to be able to spawn so many. So I think they need to reduce the numbers again. But pretty much most of my infantry is broken now. So my skirmishers are looking kind of dangerous. King Leoncoeur is holding back a big bunch over there, and I'm hammering them with skirmishers. I've just pulled them out of there though to try and get after their general, who is Vlad von Carstein, who of course has ridiculous regeneration, so he cannot be killed most of the time. But I've got my paladin after him already. So King Leoncoeur is making his way up. Go on, son. Oh, put him down. Knocked him on his ass. Go on, Leoncoeur. They should hopefully take care of him, but again, the zombies are just in the way and they're just making it difficult. Still cycle charging the crap out of everything. A lot of the vampire units are just stood there. I'm not sure why they're not moving them. Got a few spear units here ready to return. So because I was stood next to the edge of the map, it meant a couple of my units ran off the map when they routed me. They couldn't come back, which is kind of annoying, and I kind of forgot that when I stood quite near to the edge of the map. But Von Carsten's taking a hammer and now, oh, he just took 2 eagles to the head. No man can withstand that. Gotta finish him off sooner or later. So yeah, a lot of these units, I don't know where they're going. More hammers. Ooh. Another one coming in. The elves are coming in to help now. They come in heavy on the flank. Durthu's on the way. Everything's looking good. A lot of flags are disappearing. Only one left. Oh! King Leon Co with a charge finish. A decisive victory. I don't think I've had a decisive victory in one of these videos yet in an online battle. So we completely destroyed those two. Let's have a look at some stats. So they had a lot of numbers. You can see the numbers there. They deployed. They had a hell of a lot more than we did. The elves only had 102 losses. Did they actually fight anyone? 102 losses. Everyone did pretty well on my army. Skirmishers did a good bit. Grail Knights, one of them did really well. The other two could have been a bit better, I think. Over 100. Needs to be over 100. But everyone, even my spearmen did really well. I thought they'd break a little bit sooner than they did, but good show. 100 Kemmler got no kills. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, this is just a weird army. Like, where does all his money go? I feel like he didn't even spend all his money. Probably on the Terrorgeist and the Blood Knights, I guess, but that guy doesn't even have a name. Anyway, there we go. That was an online battle. Those two guys weren't the best players in the world, vampires. They didn't really try to flank. They just charged everything at me. But they did know to not bring armor-piercing graveguards. So they must have kind of known what they were doing. But tactically, they were just, I guess, maybe a bit preoccupied with all the Blood Knight stuff going on. Because the Elven player dealt with all the cavalry and stuff. So I think the Elven player did a good job of keeping them busy. And keeping them microing, keeping them distracted from the front line. Which is obviously helping me out. But he could have moved in a bit sooner. Because he didn't really move in until the battle was nearly over. So a bit of earlier help would have been good, but he certainly did enough to help us win. As for the vampires, they could have just done so much more. They had the recipe, they had the armies to beat us there. They had a lot of numbers on us, they could have flanked the crap out of us. They could have just engaged my spearmen with their zombies and then moved around the back with all the graveguard, and I would have been absolutely fricked. That's right, fricked. And they barely brought any anti-large against the elves and Bretonnia. Absolute madness. This was a ranked match. These guys must know what they're doing. Nobody really plays ranked unless they kind of have a good idea of the game, I would have thought. And they knew not to bring armor-piercing graveguard because it would have been a waste. So, you would have thought they would have brought some spearmen with them. That's basically what I'm saying. Their only anti-large was the Blood Knights, which they spent faffing around elsewhere. They should have been used to take care of my Grail Knights. I wanted to show you this one because I think it's an absolute demonstration of how tactics can beat brute force. You can't just charge your army forward into another army and think it's just going to win by the power of its units. Something as simple as 4 units of spearmen to hold the enemy in place and then 4 units of cavalry to hammer them in the back. Very simple tactic. And it destroyed 2 vampire armies pretty much. And I'm not saying this like I'm a badass and I'm the best player in the world, because I'll be the first to admit I am definitely not the best player in the world. I just know a lot of shit, which anyone else can know. Another simple thing was having my general and my paladins spread out. I had them apart so that they'd have a wider area that they're covering to boost the morale, and I knew I'd need that extra morale and leadership because of the vampire's fear and terror abilities. It's simple little tactics that you apply that make all the difference. So how people get through this game by just throwing all their units forward and not thinking about anything and expecting them just to win that way, it's just mind-boggling. You have to use tactics, you have to think, you have to use flanking. Maybe in the campaign on normal mode you can get away with that, but in higher tier level gameplay, nah. Batman. And it kind of makes it difficult to find good online battles, to be honest. I think my video guide should be mandatory for everyone to watch before they're allowed to play the game. If only I could enforce such a rule. Anyway, I've gone off on one again. Sorry about that. It happens sometimes. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the motherfucking future.